So after making my video on Smile Dog, I was reminded of another story that comes to mind when thinking about creepypastas and just spooky stories in general on the internet. Once again, for a little recap, a creepypasta is just a spooky story on the internet, primarily spread like a copypasta. They can be found quite frequently on sites like creepypasta.com and its wiki page, as well as sites like the subreddit r/nosleep and the site 4chan, which is where we will be finding our story today. 4chan is a site primarily known for being an image board website hosting many different types of boards, containing their own separate varieties of genres, topics, communities, etc. Inside of these boards, you can find pages upon pages of threads relating to the boards themselves. But what the site is probably most known for is its anonymous features, allowing you to comment and interact with the threads whilst remaining completely unnamed. The site itself is also very influential to the internet itself, being the spawning point of a lot of popular medias, for example things like Pepe the Frog, the Wojaks, and other popular internet phenomenon. And while the site itself has gone through a lot of controversial and unsavory parts of it, that's not what we're going to be here to talk about. We're focusing in on the paranormal board, where we find ourselves the story of the I Am God thread, where we will be following a concerned friend who will create a thread on the site about his other friend's current paranormal situation involving his possibly haunted computer, which slowly evolves as more images from the computer itself start to paint a more completed picture. For clarification, I'll be using this text when referring to the original poster or the concerned friend, and this text for everyone else, swapping to a different color when a different anonymous person begins speaking. Hey, I used to browse here a lot a few years back, but haven't stopped in for some time. A friend of mine recently had to send his computer into the shop because he thought he had downloaded some kind of virus. At the same time, he kept telling me about weird shit that keeps happening to him in his house. The main one is he's been having issues with both lights and his television, turning either on and off whenever he knows that he left them the other way before leaving the room and returning. He hasn't actually witnessed them going out, but they're always opposite of how he left them. From what I heard, the only real thing that he noticed being up with his computer is that he kept finding images and text files in his download folder that he'd never knowingly downloaded. Long story short, this got me thinking. Do you think it could ever be possible for some kind of paranormal entity to either fuck with your computer? Or maybe could the computer be the original source of whatever is fucking up his house? Also, while I'm thinking of it, should I recommend for him to leave an iPhone or something recording when he leaves the room to see if he can catch anything happening? Absolutely not. The computer could only fuck up with the rest of the house as if it was a demonic house and the computer was connected to it. Otherwise, the worst the computer could do would be shutting off the lights in the house due to excessive power consumption. You need some really intelligent ghost to operate at CPU level. If the ghost was using regular human means, the keyboard, mouse, any input device to fuck up with the computer, your friend would have seen it. TLDR, computer ghosts aren't real. What kind of files? Are they program files or just random junk that could be from his cache? It's just an old Toshiba laptop, so most of the time it isn't actually plugged in anyway. Like I said, images and text files. But from the ones I saw, it looks like just a bunch of corrupted shit. Like if you've ever seen glitch art, they sort of look like that. Why not try it? Worst case, you just have to delete a few videos where absolutely nothing interesting happens. Double your chances and try recording a room with the computer that's infected. If you do catch anything though, it probably won't count for much as proof. Anyone with a remote or an extension cord can make a video where a TV plugs on and off or lights flicker. The only one I have saved. I might still have others on my phone. This isn't exactly what happens when you output random binary data onto an image, or when the file gets corrupted. This looks man-made. If you find any others, post them. Do they all look like this, or are they all completely different? The only other one I can find. Most of the ones I saw looked like these. It looks like part of a map, like a coastline. I'm guessing all these corrupt images and files fit together? This might be fun. Here's my guess. That's actually not too far off, except for whatever the hell these things are. Does your friend have the PC back yet, or is it still in the shop? Did anything else happen recently to him outside of the computer and the weird stuff in his house? Has he ever been into the paranormal, like demonic stuff or black magic? Do you know if he's backed up any more images before sending his computer in? It's not a map, it's a face. The first picture is the hairline with the top part of the left eye visible. The second image is the jaw and chin with lips visible. Shit, if it's a single image, maybe the vertical lines can be used to line it up. OP, any more pics? The PC is still in the shop. Nothing eventful that I can think of. He's lived in the house for 2 years now without incident. That's why I thought it would be weird that these two things sort of linked up on the same week. He's been on a few times, but other than that, not really. He sent me like 5 or 6 of them through text. I don't think I have the others though. He might have them on his phone from when he sent them to me, but he's at work right now. It could be, but the scale of the jaw and lips looks a little small there. You may need the middle portion to be sure. And you officially have my interest. What does this all mean? Tried scanning it with a QR reader, but that didn't work. How did you get that? There are 2 slightly different shades of black, like those things where you tilt your computer monitor and the image appears, only less noticeable. I think it looks like one of those brain scan things. I think he still has them, or at least a few I didn't post. Damn. I don't think I'm gonna tell him about that because that's fucking creepy. Maybe it's some kind of binary or Morse code where the white blocks and the black blocks are 1 to 0 or a dash and dot. It wasn't in my images, but this one was still in my text messages. Inverted, they seem to match the color of the others. OP, do you know if all the files are 100 pixels tall? Tried 6 different methods before this came up, and now I'm completely done with this. What about the actual word on the picture itself? Is that a pi symbol? Repirou? I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going with that. Inverted the image, replaced the white with black, then took a stacked image and stretched the full length of the file. Well, that answers that. Does Repirou mean anything? I didn't think those were R's, I thought they were the pi symbol. Repirou equals I am. Good news folks, whatever this is, it claims to be God. Also, just for a little bit of clarification, it gets clarified further down the thread, but Repirou doesn't actually mean I am, it means about or approximately, which means that the entity or the face or whatever it is not claiming to be God, but instead it is a depiction of something that is almost a god, or is something else similar to God, but is not claiming to be God. It's snarling. The nose is wrinkled and the eyebrows are angled. That person looks pissed. That face. OP, you might want to get a hold of your friend. OP again. I need a video sharing site right now that doesn't require sign up to upload a video. He just got home and now he's leaving to come over to my place. I just need to upload the video, but he's freaked out right now. Update is OP, what happened? Alright. He just got off work and he keeps all his clothing right now in the spare bedroom closet, the room with the blue couch. He went to grab some clothes to get a shower and then walked into his room. As he was about to walk out of his bedroom into the bathroom, the door he passed in the video, he saw the light in the spare bedroom go out, so he grabbed his iPhone and ran in. In case you didn't notice it, the voice that clearly isn't his, 18 seconds in, and then what appears to be a face soon after that wasn't there a moment ago. He swears he didn't hear or see anything while recording. Here's the best still I can get. Should I even show him this thread? He's freaked out and I don't want to make it any worse. Go for it, it might comfort him if he knew that we were trying to help him solve this. You can see a face just as he walks out from the window. The voice is just slightly before that. Did anyone else hear "Get away from me"? Oh, I can hear it. It's quiet, but it's there. I can't hear it well to make out the words. Can we get a direct download for the video? I entered the link into... It worked. The best shot that I could get. TinyPic doesn't seem to have a timer on his video, so here's the best way I can show where to look. Oh yeah, I noticed that, but I thought it looked too out of place. Still can't hear it. I'm still here and he's on his way. I'll ask if he has any other files, but now might not be a good time. At first I thought maybe it was a reflection of the light in the camera, but iPhones don't have a record light, and it doesn't seem to move with the person recording. Well, it sure looks like God. I heard, "Don't run from me." Whatever it is, the last two words definitely sound like "from me." Is he there yet, OP? I'll be right back, he's pulling in. He still has this one, but I don't think we have any others. Well, that's comforting. God damn. OP, is there any more? I guess I'm not sleeping tonight. Well, what about the nose? He went through his phone, that's all we have. If it is still on the computer, it'll probably be gone by the time he gets it back. He knows I'm posting this all, but he doesn't want to look at the thread tonight, and I really don't feel like pushing him any further. As long as he's out of the house. If anything starts happening while he's over, get your ass to a holy man immediately, because then you know that something is attached to him and not the house or the computer. Did anyone else notice that it has very prominent canines on one side of its mouth, but the other looks worn down? And then for a while we don't get any posts from the OP, but we do get a post from an anonymous source stating, "Please don't lose it this time," with a photo that includes the final part of our image. Shit, we're actually gonna finish this thing. Well, here it is, the face of God. I would have posted it faster, but the first 3 times I tried to type this, the caption never came up. And then after another long gap of posts, including a small part talking about someone receiving text messages from an unknown number, but I won't be mentioning those as they don't come from the OP themselves, and I cannot be certain about them being relevant to the actual story here. What the fuck is going on here? Alright, my friend is asleep and I'm probably gonna take off too. If anything comes up, I'll start another thread tomorrow with some kind of proof that shows I'm the same person. An OC photo of the blue bedroom or something. We haven't had any other issues tonight. Good night. Just kidding, I'll be lurking for a little while longer. If you guys are really uncovering this puzzle, keep up the good work. And yeah, after that final post from the OP, we never heard anything else. And obviously with it being an open thread on the internet, it quickly developed into either people trying to find the origins of the image, off-topic conversations, or spam. And if you want to read the whole thing for yourself, I'll be posting a link to the thread in the description. However, do be warned, there are some not so safe for work things in there. Trust me, I had to read the whole entire thing just for this fucking script. I have seen things I didn't want to see, but they are now in my brain. I think I lost about 20 brain cells reading through the rest of it. But the way that the thread and its users slowly piece together the face is probably one of my favorite ways of presenting a story like this. It's not some kind of newspaper article or a recollection of an event, or some kind of pre-written message history. This all happened in real time, and it makes the story feel really unique. Whether or not you believe the story is real or if it has any kind of deeper meaning in it is for you to decide, as this is all I could find about the story, which, if I'm being honest, really adds to the scare factor of the story. I mean, it's not shit your pants kinda scary, but we're given so little information about what's going on here that there is so much to be assumed, and so little that we can be sure about. In this story, I think the realest type of horror is what your mind tries to fill in for you. For example, before the image is even fully filled in, your brain will begin to try and decipher what the finished image may look like. We see at the beginning of the thread a couple of users trying to match the image to a map, which just proves how the mind works to things it doesn't know the full extent of. The reason mystery and the unknown work so well in horror is because our brain doesn't like it when we don't understand something, so it attempts to fill in those gaps, which normally results in something more scary than the actual thing itself. For example, when discovering something new or being put in a new situation, your brain can try and freak itself out by imagining possible scenarios, which, more often than not, is worse than the actual experience itself. Things like going to the doctors for a shot or going on a roller coaster for the first time. While you're waiting for it to happen, you begin to freak out because you convince yourself that something bad is going to happen because you have no idea what's going to happen. The story of the approximately God image will most likely forever be shrouded in mystery, seeing as The last post on the thread was back in December of 2018, which is almost, 5 years ago. Oh my god. To me personally, I'd say the thing that makes the story so memorable is the video and the face of the god itself. I could make a whole video going to depth on why I think just generally the high contrast, low quality faces like the one we get for the god and the one that we get in the Mario ROM hack are just so creepy. It's just a shame that we don't get any other information on it before the entire thread just kind of crumbled down on itself. After the original thread, the OP never came back with any kind of information, and they probably never will. The story is just really mysterious. There's not really else much to it. And I could also go and explain and go through all the different text messages but I'll be honest, reading through, they just looked really cheesy. So yeah, that's all for the story. And probably another thing that makes the story stand out so much is the video itself that comes with it. Most spooky stories or creepypastas on the internet are normally just text on its own, sometimes occasionally with an image, which most of the time is taken from somewhere else, like they have an origin. However, what is rare to see is an actual video taking place, which is what we get here. And while it may not be a long video, it's still better than nothing, you know? But apart from that, we don't really get much else. As always, if there's something I missed or something you want to share about the story, make sure to do so in the comments. As well, if there are any other creepypastas or scary stories or just topics in general that you want to hear me talk about, make sure to put those in the comments too. I am heavily open for suggestions. And if you want more of my content, make sure to subscribe and check out my other channels and social sites. We are insanely close to reaching 1K on here, and my Twitter recently hit 100 followers. So we are growing rapidly, and as always, I couldn't be more thankful for it. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.